Alright, so you have your Kokyu step, right? And now you're doing it on Aikido technique. And really what it adds is keep the same internal organization, the same internal mechanics, so to speak, but add the mai. So the timing and the space is now part of the technique, okay?
Hey.
So don't do anything different. Don't go back to weirdness, okay? Like you're here in your shoulders and all kind of stuff. So you still have your patterns. You do your patterns. I have the inward spiral, which is wrist in, elbow out, but not further than your yang line. And then the other one is elbow in, wrist out. So the outward spiral. Then, don't just push him. Yield through, into the center. Turn the quad. You back to your Aikido hand holding because you're supposed to create this spinal displacement. Okay, so that's what I'm working with. So for example, my hand should never get here because you changed the articulation in your elbow, and I should have never got there on you either because that means I'm in your arm. Okay? So from touch, I'm in that center. And then now you have the foot maneuver, so you can't lose it. So the same structure, I don't lose as I move. Don't lose it, okay? And then now you have your angles. Stay there. So your hand has to be head level. So it's gonna make your arm at a 45-degree angle. Okay? And just like all Kokyu-Ho, the energy is over here, not here under you. Over here, but I'm not here. Okay? So I'm here like this, and I release and drop the chi. And that's what you're trying to push on, and I drop. And when you're done, you're done. Okay? So some mistakes. You have two young moves in the elbows now, okay? One's here in yielding, is the Aiki going this way. Not need to be taken that far though, okay? And then the Kokyu, the Aiki, boom, loads the Kokyu hand, okay? On the inward side. Boom, the quad, closed here on the right, and then it transfers over. Boom, draw the chi. All right. You're gonna try to push back on that, okay, Margaret? You can even turn your body back that way. Yield more in that left hand, and then it goes off when you move. Driving. See how she falls. You can hang here for forever. Okay? You have to have a yield. That she can fall into. it's just a controlled yield, okay? So if she's pulling, you're still gonna do it. You get it? It's not me just collapsing. There's an integrity to it such that you can't pull against it as it pulls you in, you see. But it's not holding you up. The reason it's holding her up, Sean, on you is you have positive yang on there. She's bracing on it. You'll have to allow it to go out where it makes her fall without pulling her. Did you get that? Okay, so that's what that hand is doing. So that hand is making her fall. I'm not using this hand. It's making her fall. Pushes. And I reconcile that. That her falling into it is what generates the yang hand. Gives that little percussion over. Okay? And then once you feel the projection, so I'll do it audibly. It goes boom, right? She goes, that's when I'm you know let go like that. So that's your want to control, your cowardice, okay? So you got one job. Okay, push, don't let go, don't hit your head. Okay? Roll, percuss, and I'm moving into that. Okay? Once you feel it go off, it's not off, and then you move. Once it percusses, boom, you're in. You're pushing. Yep. And I am relax, dropping. Push. You can stay there. You're going to drive all into this, okay? I'm not pinning her, my hands are just here. Okay? She's tired, okay? So Uke decides how long they're going to push for. Well, if you feel yourself on Uke's push, you go. Okay, and I'm here, you see? This is not correct. Stand. Don't lean towards me. That would not be correct, okay? But assuming you are correct, Uke decides, I'm just getting tired, okay? Stop there, cut. All right, you have to resist. Like, I know he's doing some sort of front inward kazushi, but you don't paint that. Okay? So, by itself, this is going that way. Okay? It's going this way. You seeking that. You did that. Right? Stay there. Okay? You didn't turn over. Do you understand? Okay? Come here. She's back. This one is doing this. So this one's not going like this, and this one's not going like this. Why would I do this when that hand was already doing it? So I get you here, then I push this. Okay? So this arm is just, like I just pulled it, just do not. Then this hand makes that hip go over. Okay? And then inside that fall, I rotate my body from quad to quad. So I create it, and then I move my quad. Okay? But my hands don't. You watch my hands. My hands are not rotating like I'm turning a steering wheel. The hands are doing the same thing. The quad moves. You're going to fall off of that weight as it passes me. That allows me effortless. Okay. So here, when you're driving weight, I don't want you to get a fatigue. Let's make a kind of loose contact where you're not fatigued. Okay? So I'm not doing that into you. Okay? You gotta just stay loose. I don't want you to tire, just so you can feel that pressure there. Okay? And then I now release tension. You see? Right. That's the chi sinking. Now, so once I release, and now you try to lift, and we're not going anywhere. Okay, I'll release even more. You see? Okay. And that's what makes it Kokyu-Ho. Okay? And that's what you're doing in the Kokyu set. That's what you're trying to release. We're just standing, you see? That's what you do at all the end of Aikido's Kihon pins. They're not pins, they're Kokyu-Ho. You release the chi that way. It just drops and things get heavy, okay? It's not a pin. I'm not pinning you. I am using your resistance to trigger tension in the untrained so that I can practice the trained response, which is drop and sink the chi, okay? So we've left the pure cultivation fields of the Kokyu set, for example, or the Aiki set. They're simplified fields. And simplified in what way? There's no mind to them. That's what. There's no mind to them. There's no required timing or required spatial relationship. In fact, the longer and the slower or the more still, the better in the cultivation sets. But when you move towards Kihon, what you're doing is you're making more complex the field. How, in particular, by now making my relatives. My means space-time, but it means the correct space-time for the desired objective. Okay, those things have to go. It means space-time, it means correct. Correct to what? Correct to the desired objective. Okay? Now that's a lot. It's 3 more factors that are interrelated that you put into this. So I don't really consider this as good a cultivation field as the Kokyu set or the Aiki set. You're trying to now take what you've learned in the cultivation sets and add other things to them. My, okay? So when you add my, even though this looks pretty simple and looks very much like a cultivation field, as in the Kokyu set or the Aiki set, It's not. It's much closer to how Ikkyo is or Shihon Nage is, like other Kihon Waza. And so it should be more consistent with those Kihon Waza. And something that is consistent with that Kihon Waza in terms of what Mai is your angle deviation. You have to have an angle deviation. But yet here in this Kokyu-Ho, it looks like there's no angle deviation. But it's not true, there is. Okay? And that angle is connected in the Kwa movement. Okay, so if you look at the relationship between my spine and Shan's spine, our noses here. When I open or close one Kwa, you see how I'm moving off the line of attack. You see? So if he comes to punch me in the nose, right? And I think that was enough, then that's enough for me to miss. So I'll redo my Kwa, undo my Kwa, and you see that's dead hit, okay? So, and this is kind of what's trapping you on why you hold her, is you keep your Kwa here until it's time to push it. So you go here, and then you'll do that Kwa, you see? But the first Kwa is here. And this starts what Margaret is noticing in my body. So this movement, let's look at what I do. So I'm going here to get out of the way of that arm, okay? So I'm going boom, and then ba, okay? So that makes this movement one big wind up, as opposed to, you get it? And I just push there. I'm basically winding up, whoa, that movement, right? Okay. Yes, you're working on the Kwa, but the Kwa here, because it's not a cultivation field, is simultaneously generating your angle deviation. That your Tesabaki is, you see how we've moved. You went left, I went right, okay? So, boom, boom. And that's what you're seeing, Margaret, is that big movement. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? But think of it as, and you mentioned that you get kind of squeezed, you see? So here I am squeezed, okay? But if I just could move this over, I'm not squeezed, you see that? Even though this is close to me, it doesn't really have anything on it, you see? But before you get squeezed, if you moved off the line, then there's nothing on it. You wouldn't have got squeezed. You got squeezed because you stayed on the line, okay? And you didn't deviate. You didn't have the angle deviation that is built into the Kwa utilization in the technique. Okay, so let's try that. Bring attention to that.